Welcome to Cashflow Savannah, Chandler. This is episode 69. How are you today? You doing okay?
Good. Staying busy. That was the busiest off season ever.
You are not kidding. Usually
Hopefully,
we're in the off season, but this year, I don't know. Did you even sleep between Christmas and St. Patty's Day? I don't know that you slept more than a couple hours a night.
nah, I think I worked. It was like every single weekend, it was craziness, but I think
Great.
it'll set it up for the busy season.
Well, I'm glad we're recording this episode because I want you to know every meetup and every event and every place I've been around town, people keep going, "Where's Chandler been? What happened to Chandler?" Because you're always out and about. You're always at meetups. You're always at functions, meals. Like even our breakfast, you never skip breakfast at First Watch. You were not at breakfast at First Watch. And that's when I had the most people like genuinely worried about you because we know you love to eat.
Yeah, no, if I'm missing breakfast, that means I'm pretty busy. I think I was like out of property till 1 a.m.
Yeah.
before the morning before that breakfast. So I was like, I gotta get some sleep. So I
I
think
even
that
told
was,
you, where were you? You said, I had to make sure the painter got here. And I said, oh, that it made me feel terrible.
yeah, maybe. There was a lot of just hand holding because we were all going through a new process. So.
Absolutely. Well, so we're doing this episode because we've been talking about this huge project, this huge project, this huge project. It has been a learning curve, like unbelievable. And we had a lot of experience going into this very large project, but we're going to take you through the deal and take you through how much work we've gone through to get the revenue that we want. And you and I both, nor is anyone at Sid was here, afraid of hard work. Never, especially with a great goal in mind. So back in December, I was at a dead run because I had a lot of people trying to close short-term rentals before the end of the year. And I had a gentleman reach out and he said, I need to buy a short-term rental. I said, I'm ready. I had my list ready. I mean, I literally was teed up for him and the other 18 people, that contacted me with the same reason. We closed a deal for him in 9 days. Not easy. It took a very heavy lift on the part of Quentin Marlin, my favorite closing attorney, who is also a sponsor of the Cashflow Savannah meetup. And so we closed on this property. And interesting, I got to look at multiple other properties for sale during the process, but he closed, I think, on the best one. It's a 5-unit commercial building in Savannah. It's on Oglethorpe Square. And in total, it has, I believe, 11 bedrooms and 12 bathrooms. And so the building was okay when he purchased it. We took 3 weeks, just you, me, and one other wonderful human being, Bella. We got in there, got our hands dirty with the owner and a bunch of other people. And what we found was this really great building with a bunch of mismatched furniture. How angry does mismatched furniture make you, Chandler? Does that like raise your blood pressure? It was
A ton of that plus mismatched light bulbs.
Yeah,
Those,
it had all of the above.
yeah.
Matched. No furniture matched. The dishes didn't match. The silverware didn't match. But the building itself was incredible. I'll
The
never forget.
building location,
Yeah, location. Yes.
yeah.
I remember taking you into unit 4 and I said, Chandler, we're gonna have to evict you from this. I knew you were just packing your
Yeah.
bags to move in. How much do you love unit 4?
I love Unit 4. Unit 4, like, it seems like all the dudes love it. It's got the wood beams running across the top, brick accent walls, kind of just a cool old wood floors, just a cool space. Not to
Amazing.
mention the rooftop deck that you can
Rooftop
see
deck,
over there.
park pine floors. It has everything that you want in the historic district, but it's still a historic building. So I just want to say what our client purchased was just such a fantastic product. But the decor, it wasn't awful, but it was below just okay. I don't know. I'd give it like a 3 out of 10.
Yeah, no, I think you're right about that.
I would have
It was,
stayed in it.
it was below okay, more than that.
Yeah, so we closed on it, like I said, very quickly, really right before New Year's. So first week of January, it was game on. And we gave ourselves, I think we had until the 19th, to pull it together. Is that right?
You gave us like 17 days, I think.
But in Savannah, busy season starts in March, and we knew that, right? And we can't just launch a short-term rental in March. We want to launch it in January in order to book up for March because we know that the owner needs revenue. So I helped close the transaction as an agent, and then Chandler and I took over as property managers through Sid was here, and the owner was right there with us with the decor. He said, "You're right, it's terrible." So really, our first step was kind of to remove the worst of the furniture because we kind of had to keep a good bit. Talk about editing down what was already there and work. We had a pretty tight budget those 17 days.
Yeah, no, I think we tried to make everything kind of just match. No throw pillows, I could see a lot of it, honestly, was consignment stuff. I think they went to some store that sold old hotel furniture or something along that line. Because I can look on the back of some things and it would say like $10 in handwriting, kind of like a yard sale type thing. So all this furniture in there had that. And so it was kind of, and it was all, just from going through it, it was all different styles, like
Yep.
contemporary, farmhouse, you had modern. It was all kind of just combined together to just, so people could just basically show up. They have a couch to sit on, they have a bed to sleep in,
Right.
nothing crazy.
Well, and arguably the best bedroom in the building, which is in unit 4, had
Mhm.
the furniture made me insane. I was like suicidal. It was sparkle furniture. That's what I call it. Everything glittered, giant glitter dresser, giant. Think the bed had a good bit of glitter. I can't remember the bed. I've blocked it out. I'm so traumatized. Glitter
Very,
nightstands, glittery lamps, and then mirrors that were just bling.
very,
And it
like
was
fake
so
looking
fun.
diamonds in the beds kind of
Oh,
thing, like chandelier bed.
it was just not, and I'm a chick and I couldn't take, I don't know how a dude would be like, yeah, I want to sleep in this glitter bed. It was that bad. But clearly it was expensive furniture. Someone paid a lot for it. At least first guy did. Second guy I didn't. It was really difficult because we knew what the home could be, but the furniture just brought the whole thing down.
Yeah, no, and then I'm glad the owner kind of saw this was it sounds like he has an ear down. He kind of understands the short-term rental market. He's like, hey, I need to create this experience. And then I think just his personality in general is the type of personality that's like, hey, I want someone to have a nice place to stay. I think that's just how he is too. So we kind of combine that together and we're like, all right, let's just make this place sweet.
Yes.
So
And the owner is crucial. I mean, you've got to have the owner on board because this is their property, this is their money. And at Civis here, we're a small boutique firm. We want the property to do its best and have the best decor. We can't do it without the owner signing on to that. They have to say, yes, we're open to that money. And he looked at the revenue because he purchased it and we had 3 years worth of revenue from the seller. And we said, we know we can do better, but we need to invest a little bit more into the decor because the decor matters just as much as the building.
yeah, no, I think so. It's tough looking at the last 3 years of revenue. And so you can look at that and I was like, I would kind of just dismiss the last, let's say you can do last year's revenue. I think it's a good number, but the last 2 years kind of dismiss those a little bit. I just don't think you can get away with bad decor in this market because there's so many of them. And I was able to pull up on Airbnb and kind of just show them all the listings. Just looking at the map just kind of shows you like, holy cow, like
Yeah,
there's that many
there's a lot of
listings. Like here's this awesome location, but there's also 1,000 others in that same location. And then we're kind of showing them, all right, you're competing with all these in this location, and they also looked awesome. Like they looked like well made, they all matched. And he was like, okay, this makes sense. He's like, how do you increase revenue? Like even if we went in just did matching stuff and made it pretty, you're still competing on price because everything around them's very nice. So we kind of pitched them up doing something totally different.
That's right. Well, I want to clarify, Chandler, because I know what you're saying, but for the listener, when you say we
Yeah.
toss out, 2022 and 2023 revenue, there's a reason Chandler's saying that. Those have been arguably the best years in history for short-term rentals. Okay. We had a huge boost from COVID. Everyone jumped into the market buying them, but also everyone got on board with renting short-term rentals. Until then, it was, a small number of people that rented. So we can look at those numbers and we're happy to look at them and we're happy for whoever got that money. We were in there too with those owners, but it's just not realistic to get 2022 numbers in 2025 unless you have a plan, which we had a plan. Other thing I wanted to say with my issues with those revenue numbers from the former owner, nothing against the former owner, but as an investor, we were looking at the numbers. And of course, it's easy to get excited about a large number and go, oh, look at all the revenue. But what had been tacked into those numbers, and you as the buyer need to be aware of this, not property taxes, hotel taxes were in those numbers, and also cleaning fees. Okay. Those are not typically revenue unless you're milking it, which we don't. Those are pass-through fees. The guest pays the taxes go to the city. The guest pays a cleaning fee. The cleaning fee, at least when Sid was here, goes to the cleaner. It is not a revenue source for us. So we want to see when we look at revenue to see how much you're going to make as an investor, we want to go how much rental revenue is coming in because that is what is going to hit your pocket. And those numbers we're going to compare to 2024, but we don't like to look too far back from that just because we're realists.
Yeah, no, and then kind of just to update everybody on numbers wise, I was looking at numbers. I've been looking at numbers this past week, just comparing. So last year's January to this year's January, it's actually down even more this year. So like last year we thought was slower. This year has actually been slower for the months of January, February February. I don't know March yet,
Yeah.
but just based on graphs, is actually it's like it wasn't much slower, but it was a tad slower, which you don't really want to see. You're like, all right,
Yeah.
when's it gonna pick back up? Yeah, that's just the kind of trend that I saw. But I mean, I'm hoping soon it'll pick back up.
It's going to pick back up, but the economy has slowed. I mean, they're doing that on purpose. They need to refinance the federal debt. And so they do need those interest rates to drop so they can refinance. And the expectation in the finance world is that as soon as debt gets releveraged at a lower rate than what they would get today, they're going to push it again and it's going to pop back up. Every market goes down and up, down and up. So we're not surprised to see that. But I agree with you. The tenor of the market in general is kind of like there's just
Yeah,
less spending.
just like even the booking times are very last minute. People aren't spending out because I guess they just don't know how further out they're not able to save as much. That's too much economics for me. That's my idea, maybe. But yeah, it's a little bit slower, not much, just a little bit. But I'm sure it'll pick up soon. So
Yeah, we feel that. We absolutely feel that. And again, as you know, this gentleman's property manager, Chandler and I, we're sharing the rent. So we're motivated right along with him. If we can get him 3 times the rent, we make 3 times the management commission, right? So we're always on the same team. There is no, oh, I'm getting paid whether you get paid or not, dude. Not a fact here. And so we wanted to boost the revenue, and he also wanted to boost the revenue. So we came in and said, hey, we have a plan. We've been doing lots of research. Talk about that research, Chandler. Like when you're looking into what the possibilities are for revenue, give us some insight on your research process.
so obviously it's been slow the last couple years. And so, I mean, I just kind of keep my ear down. I've always been like, I've never been like, all right, if it's slow, it's just going to be slow and we're going to deal with it. I just don't have that in me. I don't like that, not having control, I guess. So obviously just research like, hey, like what's performing well right now? That's all I want to see. All right, there's something performing well. And so I just kind of put my nose in and just go through Airbnb. Like, let's see what's performing well. And then I follow some guys to get some educational stuff from there and some groups that also educate as well. And it seemed the trend was decor. Like, hey, spice up your decor, put some amenities. And these people were actually showing, hey, I've actually been able to increase my revenue and increase everything else with it. And I'm kind of like, okay, I'm always skeptical too. I don't want them just to be like this sales pitch. And then after a few months, they keep showing like, hey, I did this well this month. And they're showing like the actual numbers. And I like that. And so I was like, okay, so this is kind of working. Finally, I was like, hey, listen, like there was a listing on River Street that took that advice and clearly did it. I could see like what had been booked already, and they were booked out for almost the entire year, every single weekend
That
this
is
year.
unheard of in this market.
Yeah, very last minute, which we were just saying. I was like, well, this is working. And then I can go in some other markets. Like, I wasn't looking just in Savannah, but I was just saying, like, all right, this was working in Austin, Texas. This is working here. This is working here. Very touristy type towns. And I was able to show the owner that, and he was like, all right, he didn't really flinch. He was like, all right, let's roll with it. So we went with this kind of crazy, fun design. It's not your typical, most people can't, they're like, I wouldn't do this. But like, you're not supposed to do what you want to do. You're supposed to do what your guests want to do. It seems like the people that are decorating towards their style are the ones that aren't doing well. Mostly older people, so they stay very traditional. And that's everything in Savannah. Everything's traditional. Everything looks the exact same. So we were like, all right, let's stand out. And so
Right.
like, I got a team together and I was like, hey, listen, this can't be normal looking. It's got to like, every photo's got to be this like hero shot photo. Everywhere you look is something different. I think we did pretty well with it. I wish we had numbers. We just listed it Monday. Today's Wednesday. I can't give you numbers yet, but maybe we'll come back and say, hey, you know what? This actually did well. Or I'll be honest, if it doesn't do well, we'll say, hey, it's not doing as well. But I got a feeling it's going to do pretty well.
It's already doing well. Well, and it's such a great exercise, no matter what market you have a short-term rental in. You need to look around the neighborhood of where you are buying or have bought and go, what's my competition? How quickly are they booking up? What do their photos look like? Well, how good is their description? How good are their reviews? You know, these things really matter. You have to really, we already know the market, but this was even a micro market. We're like, what's near Oglethorpe Square and how is it doing and how can we outperform them? And so even though you think you know it all, you don't. And so it's always good to check that competition. It's incredibly important.
Yeah, I think that's perfect. What you just said. You think you know it all, but you don't. Because like even I thought I was pretty good with Savannah Market. Like I knew it well. And then you kind of keep digging. You can almost just keep digging and keep digging and keep digging. Yeah, I just kept digging. I was like, dang, everything looks the same here. And everything is kind of just your normal old, what you would think Savannah looks like. And so, yeah. And then what's crazy too is we mentioned that one listing that's on River Street. Let's say 4 bedrooms. So this is a 3 bedroom on River Street. And there was 2 4 bedrooms on each side of it on River Street, basically.
Same location.
And same exact location, just like different on each end, basically. And this one was in the middle. And so you got a 3 bedroom in the middle, 4 bedrooms on each side. And I was like, the 3 bedroom in the middle is outperforming the 4 bedrooms in every category. It was like it's getting like 1,200 a night, and the 4 bedrooms were getting like 850 a night.
Mm.
And I was and it was booked all the way up. And then you can go and see like, all right, this one's not booked, but until March and April, it has some bookings through there, but nothing really into the summer yet. Or this one's like just fully booked. And I was like, this is the way to go. And it
It's
kind of
exactly
worked out. The unit we
30%.
did it in, the unit we were doing it in didn't have the Savannah historic charm. It was kind of all sheetrock, no brick accent walls. So it kind of worked out. It's just tile floor, nothing that we were taking away from like a historic Savannah feel. So we were like, yeah, we can get pretty funky in this one.
It
So
turned out so great. So we took first we edited down the furniture, then we basically tossed the rest. I mean, maybe a few pieces have survived from the sale back in December, but we took it up a level within 3 weeks, launched it. We weren't happy with what we saw. We took it back down. We redecorated it again to another level, and Chandler lost even more sleep. And now we have this amazing luxury unit with amazing photos. It's very unique, and it's so cool. Whenever I'm at that building, we purposely leave the shutters open, and I've seen multiple people. I know you have too, Chandler, looking through the window, going, "Wow!" The decor is just like boom.
it was funny. While we were working on the project, we had to keep the door. We would just keep the door open. And I can't tell. John was nice enough. He's like, "Yeah, come on, walk through." And just random people, yeah, come check it out. And so like some people were like, "All right, sure." Some people were like, "No, I'm good." But a couple of people were like, "Yeah, we'll walk through it." But yeah, that is funny watching people kind of look through. I saw the same thing. It's funny. Like at night when we were working on it, they would have the blinds open, and I don't want people looking at me while I'm working, blah blah blah. And they're like, "No, keep them open. People need to see in." I'm like, "No, I don't want people to look because people are looking in there, like looking." And I'm like, I feel a little uncomfortable working in here right now.
That's
But
funny.
yeah, it's very eye-catching. So that's kind of the same idea you want on Airbnb.
Right,
Like you might not book the place, but you're gonna have to click on it.
right.
And like even that, just getting clicks on your Airbnb account helps it boost it in the algorithm. So
Right.
if people are clicking on it, they're going to boost it up. So that's another thing that we were kind of thinking of too.
Well, and the crazy thing too is we get the photo shoots back all the time. 12 a week,
Mhm.
whatever. You have one photo to catch that person's attention. One. There's not 10, there's not three, one. When scroll through Airbnb, VRBO, booking.com as a guest, if nothing catches your eye, you keep it moving. I book very heavily on location and price. Those are my personally as a guest. Okay. Those are my first two parameters. I usually zero in on a map because I want to be walkable typically. Once I get down to my area, I will happily pay more for a luxury listing or something with an extra special something. I know you've been dealing with this as well. Your girlfriend's been spending a lot of time in short-term rentals. Talk about that experience, looking at a few females that are going to be alone. How do they see, booking a short-term rentals? Because females are typically the ones that do the booking for the whole family.
Yeah, no, they want something like dudes will just book like whatever. Hey, put our heads down. We'll be out anyway. Like we'll be out playing golf, doing what, it don't matter. The ladies, they want something cute and Instagrammable. So honestly, that's all we thought in mind with this one was just like, all right, ladies are booking this. What's Instagrammable? Kind of everywhere you turn
Yes.
has this weird, quirky, somebody wants to take a selfie with it type deal.
Every wall, pretty
So,
much, is amazing. I do
yeah.
want to say for men, I've seen this as working in this industry. Men, they don't really care about the decor, the location matters, but it's number of beds. Have you seen that as well? I know you travel with your golf
Agreed.
buddies and things. That's huge for men.
That's it. That's it. Basically, we don't want to sleep with each other on the same bed. So the more beds, and we
Yeah.
don't care how it looks, then we'll get there and we'll just crash. We're out golfing all day or whatever, doing something all day anyway. We don't care. But the ladies, when they do their trips, they got these themes, they got this huge itinerary, they got to dress the same. They have these.
Photos.
It's just yeah, it's pretty crazy to me. But whatever floats their boat. They can have a good time. So yeah, we were catering towards that for sure.
So for the
So
ladies, Instagrammable, if that's your target avatar, right? You want to always pick who you're going after. And if you're going after guys, like a golf vacation is a great example, you want to have good decor, of course, but go for number of beds. So like a large bedroom, if your target is men's group, it's two queens in a large bedroom versus one king if you're targeting couples. If you're
yeah.
targeting ladies, you have more mirrors, maybe some wallpaper, lighting, things like that. Talk about some other just simple things people can put in their listing that's going to boost their revenue.
So do you want like as far as amenities, or are you talking about just kind of photos to kind of make them like look good? What you think?
Let's talk amenities. I don't think that gets talked about enough.
Yeah, so amenities, that's kind of the biggest thing right now, honestly, that's kind of separating everybody is amenities. Hot tubs, pools, even saunas. I've seen saunas. Some people put saunas at their properties and they're like, hey, yeah, I made an extra 20,000 that next year. And I'm like, a sauna? Like, really? I really didn't believe in it until some dude was like, yeah, I spent 10,000 on the sauna and I made 20,000. And so it paid for itself half of the year. And then I was like, dang, okay, cool. Good for you. I like hot tubs a lot right now because, especially when you're on Airbnb in Savannah, we're just going to keep it just for the Savannah market. When you filter hot tubs, it goes from like 7,000 listings all the way down to like 90. So now you're competing with 7,000. Now you're just competing with 90. People filter out when they go to book. They're like, hey, I only want a place with a hot tub. And I do that too. Like if I go to Smoky Mountains, I need a hot tub. Like I filter it out. It's got to have a hot tub. Same thing here. Hot tub's the number one filtered thing in Savannah. So people want it, obviously. So yeah, amenities, I would do a hot tub. And if you can, nobody has a pool. If you filter out a pool, it just goes to like 5.
Yeah, there
So
are few. Well, and you can't really, most people don't even have a yard in the historic district. There's no way to
yeah.
even pool. So yeah,
Yep.
you can get a pool, shoot.
You can. I think the money's worth it there too, because you can increase your rates, like almost double your rates with a pool. It's
Well,
crazy how much you can increase your rates with these amenities. Like you
right.
really got to look at that. It's like you can increase them like crazy.
Well, like talking about Smoky Mountains versus Savannah, let's go there for a second. Like, I don't love cold weather, but I'll go there. But if I know I could get in the hot tub, then that gives me something to do outside, like in the winter, for example. I think it's a really great way to make your listing more marketable. And then in Savannah, people don't love being 4,000 degrees hot, and it does get very hot in the summer. But if you go, oh, there's a hot tub that I don't have to turn the heat on, I can just hang out in the water, or maybe there's a pool where I can lounge, it just, again, it makes the guest experience a lot more seasonal because they go, oh, well, even if it's hot or cold, I still have plenty to do. So, be thinking that with amenities. Again, I'm not a hot tub person, but I'm an investor. So if the guests are going to want that feature, I'm going to put that feature in. I'm not one that does saunas either, but would I put it in? Heck yeah, why not? I would always want to put in something that makes me very different than everybody else, whether
Mhm.
that be a sauna or, you name it, amenity, but find something that other guys don't have that guests actually want.
Yep, that's the hardest thing too with like some of these owners. They're like you show them these like kind of funky designs. They're like, oh, I would never do that. I was like, it doesn't matter what you
Right.
want. It's either you want it and you come stay and you're happy and you don't need cash flow, or hey, you want some cash flow, let's do this design, and then you can still have a good time in it. You still get to stay in this cool place, which I think it's cool. Like let's say you live somewhere else and you're coming to your own short-term rental. At least you're not coming. It's not like you're coming from your house to another house. Like you get this cool stay, which I think that's really cool for the owners of this property. Is like he has 2 kids, and the kids absolutely love coming to this unit. Like he's like a little girl, and she's like, "Oh, this is my room," and I think that's just really cool that she gets to come and have this like experience instead of just like going from one house to another. So I think that's a cool part of it too.
When I enjoy watching the guest walk in for the first time, or when I visited someone else's short-term rental for the first time, you're going to make your money by making it fabulous, get them to click on the photo, book it. But when they enter, you also now need to back up those photos with a really great stay. And the decor is going to get them in the door, but when they walk in, it needs to feel clean. Okay. And they also want to feel that they've gotten a good value for their money. If someone has paid $400 a night for, let's say, say a 2-bedroom home in Savannah, and they walk in and none of the furniture matches. It feels very worn out because when you buy used furniture, it's already worn out the day you bought it. And now a short-term rental guest is going to flog it into, the Neverland. So you have to understand that the guest can tell when it's very old, mismatched furniture. We were in one recently and there was wooden furniture here and then these random log side tables that they didn't match anything in the rest of the home or frankly the city. They looked like they belonged in the Smokies where they have giant trees and chainsaw things. You know what I mean? Like it
Yeah.
just felt so like, and as a guest, you feel, I don't want to say stolen from, but you just don't feel like you're getting your money's worth for what you're paying. Because please understand, when you as the owner, let's say you're getting $400 or the total rent is $400, okay? Most likely the guest is paying $800 to $900 for that $400 stay because there's a cleaning fee. There are tons of taxes. The booking platform is taking a huge chunk. Airbnb short-term rentals are filled with extra fees that we don't even realize on the other side. We're only seeing what we get paid. But when you really look at what the guest pays for, it's a very large amount. And you want them to walk in and go, this is amazing. It's worth it. And when they see this furniture that doesn't match, scratchy blankets, thread pulls everywhere, the guest kind of feels taken advantage. And we are going to see that later in the review.
I kind of, as we were doing this one unit, it's funny, as we're walking in, adding stuff, we're like, wow. So I can only imagine, like guests walking in being like, wow, this looks cool. So that's kind of what we want, like we want them to walk in and be like, whoa,
Yeah,
this
it's
looks
even
like the
better.
photo. Even some things even look better in
Right.
person. So yeah, that's another thing you got to keep in mind when you're doing this. Like, don't just do it for the photos. Make sure you can back up what you're photographing.
Yes.
So, but
We've
yeah,
seen that
no, it's
before, where the photos are 8 years old and now the guest walks in. The furniture is different. It's just so tired and used and it's not good. And
yeah.
let me tell you, 1 or 2 bad reviews will really cost you for years. Can you talk about that a little bit, Chandler?
Yeah, no reviews. So it's funny, like even getting traction on your listing, like having reviews early, getting them 5-star quick and early really help. But yeah, even as it's crazy, like a 4.7 is not that good.
Yeah.
And Airbnb, it sounds awesome. Out of 5, it sounds awesome. Yeah, so if you're like thinking your 4.7 is awesome, I would think again, they really like 5 stars, they love. If you're 5 stars, they're gonna put you at the top. So like when you're going to book, you're the first person that you see, or at least the top 5 or first page at least. So that's a big deal. They have kind of changed it recently to where it was because for property managers that are big, it's like obviously you get more reviews. So like your superhost status, it's easier to not be a superhost if you're a bigger management company. So what they did was basically if your property's making a ton of money, they're going to put you at the top because it makes them a ton of money. Because Airbnb wants to make money, like so they're going to put you at the top, and so they'll put you either as a guest favorite or top 5%. So basically, your property makes money, they want to put you at the top because then they make money. That's all it is. Airbnb is like, we want to make money. That's all they care about. So if your property is making them a ton of money, they're going to put you at the top. If your property is losing them money, which there are cases where they can lose money, they're going to put you at the bottom. So just keep that in mind when you're going through these listings. You want to make Airbnb money because if you make Airbnb money, they can make you a lot of money too.
We have one listing and it's all 5-star reviews. I think it has 27 or 28 5-star reviews and it's always at the top. And the other way these short-term rentals make money is they get booked out first. So you want to be the listing that gets booked a year from now, 6 months from now. You're going to get top dollar. Obviously we hope you're using dynamic pricing, but you're going to get the best rates for those further out, more lucrative stays because the guests that are thinking ahead, they want the best location and the best decor, the best, the best, the best. That's why they're booking ahead. They're willing to pay a premium because they want to be right on the parade route. They want to be right close to shopping or they want off-street parking and they know these things go very quickly. So if you can A, have great photos and great decor, B, back it up with great reviews, you're going to have a listing that makes you excellent money for many, many years to come.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. The owner was kind of asking, like, how long do you think this will like kind of last? Because obviously everything's kind of trends in years, and I was like, I can't tell you that, but like I can't see it just going away. Like Savannah's very popular; it always has been. It's top 10 for like bachelorette trips in the entire nation. I just don't see why that would go away. It's only Savannah, really downtown, is only getting better right now. I mean,
That's
they're
true.
building, they're making it really cool with some really cool spaces. So I don't know. I'd like to say it's going to last for a long time.
We've
But
doubled the size of the convention center. I mean, that tells you that how much demand there is. That's huge tourism traffic. And keep in mind, if you look at, I don't care what the asset class is, I don't care if it's real estate, I don't care if it's stocks, it does not matter. The market goes like this, okay? There is no flat, there is no up and to the right at all times. It's going to go up and it's going to go down. And this year has been tough. The past 12 months, I would say it has been in a bit of a lull. And it's funny, I've been through many market cycles in my career, and it always feels like it's going to last forever when it's tough. And it always feels like it's going to last forever when it's good. And neither of them ever last forever. You have to buy right, you have to have a plan, and you have to stick to that plan. And over time, as it goes up, this unit or this entire property, I should say, is going to already have such great momentum that it's going to surge to the top. We're already seeing that happen in this listing. Just we're only a week or two in to the new decor. We're already seeing such great results. We're really proud of this market and what we're doing here. And it's all because the owner was like, I believe in you guys. Let's go for it. And he just basically put his credit card on the table and gave us the green light. It's been fantastic.
another thing that's funny is so this is kind of it's a girlier listing, and just this morning a dude put, so it's kind of funny. I'm like, all right, well, dudes must like this too. So yeah, don't be afraid. Dudes might they might like something cool too. So
They want to stay in luxury just like chicks, and many guys like pink. So it is okay. But it is a really, Chandler, you did a great job. I felt terrible every time I was at events and you weren't there and you were still at work. I actually took a lot of heat for that. I want to say for the record, I was working very hard with Chandler. I just sometimes had to leave him there still working. And I'm so ashamed. But you know that I didn't do that very lightly. But you've really done a great job. And we're really proud. We're starting to help other owners, that we manage for, up their decor. We're really looking forward to coming back and showing you some crazy revenue numbers. Hopefully that'll be very soon.
yeah, I'd like to see what after summer probably. Let's see what those rock and roll
That's
with.
right.
So
We want to compare our numbers to the neighbors. We have every intention of slaying.
I want to be super transparent with this. I want to see if it's not doing as well, but hey, I don't know what's going on, but it should do well.
Absolutely.
But we appreciate y'all listening today. If y'all have any other questions about the short-term rental market, feel free to reach out. I love talking about this stuff. So I know it's a difficult time right now. It's a little shaky, but there's always ways to pivot and do well. So yeah, reach out, ask questions. We're not afraid to answer them.
Absolutely right. Do not quit hustling. The revenue's there. The asset class is solid. We are in a little bit of a downturn, but there are plenty of ways out of it.
We appreciate y'all listening and spread the word, and we'll see you on the next one. Thank you.
Bye bye.